Big Trouble by Corejo. Scootaloo had always wondered how many fireworks could fit in her wagon. The answer was 12, if any pony were to ask, as long as she stacked them right. And that was counting room for the 3 of them. 2 more than Apple Bloom could manage, and 12 more than Sweetie Belle wanted in the first place. But what did she know? Adding a pair of drapes and a roll of duct tape to the equation could only lead to one thing. Cutie marks. Foolproof. The only word for such an amazing idea. But Sweetie Belle had been full of nothing but doubtful questions since I started. Like, are you sure this is safe? And would our sisters think this is safe? And this doesn't seem very safe. That wasn't even a question. The real questions that needed asking were, does it look like enough duct tape to you? And do you think this hill is big enough? The hill certainly was, if Scootaloo had anything to say about it. They wouldn't have picked it otherwise. A little ways out of town. It was perfect. It might have faced Ponyville, but that only meant the possibility of flying over the whole town for every pony to see. No way that couldn't end up being awesome. Rainbow Dash would surely think so. The runway they had painted down its face was hard to see with how finely it tapered into the distance. Scootaloo already felt like she was going 1,000,000 miles an hour just looking at it. Are you really sure this is safe? Sweetie Belle asked as she sat in the wagon, hoofs around Apple Bloom's barrel, warily eyeing the stack of fireworks over her shoulder. Rainbow Dash can go fast enough to make a sonic rain boom and she's still okay, Scootaloo said. She flashed a grin that would have sent a diamond dog running for the hills, but Sweetie Belle grimaced. That's not really what I meant by... Yeah, Scold, Apple Bloom cut in. Just hurry up and light 'em. Psh! You're just mad I could get more fireworks into the wagon than you could. Scootaloo blew a raspberry at her. Apple Bloom flustered. I'm not. I too. Apple Bloom glowered at her. Just light 'em already. She pulled her goggles down over her eyes. No need to tell her twice. On it! Scootaloo likewise snapped her goggles into position. Ouch! And fished a match from its box. It flared to life at the flick of a hoof, and she reached behind them to light the intertwined fuses draping over the tail end of the wagon. A trick they had learned the last time. The flame became a hiss, and Scootaloo retook her seat. Or tried to. With how much space the fireworks took up in the back end, she could hardly get one flank in. Hey, scoot over, Apple Bloom. You're hogging all the room. I am scooted over. You're the one hogging. Girls, Sweetie Belle said, clinging tighter to Apple Bloom. Scootaloo took hold of the wagon handle, the steering wheel of their one-way ticket to Cutie Mark City. She grinned in triumph. Cutie Mark Crusader wagon racers, a go! In 3, 2, 1! I'm so glad you girls could help me move all my stuff into the castle, Twilight said. She and her 5 friends walking towards her new home, each with bulging saddlebags. No problem, Twilight, Rainbow Dash said, flying lazy circles around the group. We'd never leave a friend hanging. Applejack gave Twilight's saddlebag a nudge. What she said? You didn't think we'd let a friend of ours lug all that stuff across town all day on her own, did you? She hefted her own to emphasize the point. Twilight smiled. I have to say, it definitely helped speed things up. Yeah! Pinky bounced alongside her. Luckily, Twilight had the sense to pack her bags with the non-fragiles. 24 hoofs are better than 4! Just like cupcakes! A blur of hoofs on a prolonged bounce. But I wish that big, mean, meanie-pants T-Rex didn't blow up the library in the first place! She frowned at nothing in particular. It's okay, Pinky. Twilight smiled reassuringly. I might have lost a lot of things in the library, but they're only things. And hey, I have a castle now! She smiled up at the massive crystal tree, whose innumerable branches shimmered all colors of the rainbow in their skyward reach. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime trade-up. Can't complain there, right? The others hummed. Really? Twilight continued. I'm willing to bet things will only get better from here on out. You really think so? Fluttershy asked from the rear of the group. Twilight smiled at her. I know so. She couldn't help spread her wings with all the positive energy flowing through her.
Well, if you know so, then what's that sound?
Pinky asked. They all turned to her.
What sound? The one that sounds like 3 screaming fillies strapped to a wagon full of fireworks.
The 6 looked up, and above them soared a little red missile straight at the castle. Time seemed to slow in the moments before impact as every pair of eyes saw in full the white-eyed fillies soaring through the air. The castle exploded in a shower of colors and squeals of scattering firecrackers, its upper reaches billowing a cloud of smoke and massive chunks rocketing into the distant blue. Jaws dropped, none more than Twilight's. When all felt still, 3 wobbly little heads poked out from the rubble like little twigs growing from its stump, and 5 pairs of eyes glanced nervously between each other.
You don't think that tree has another castle-making box we could use, do you?
Applejack asked. Rainbow Dash shrugged, grimacing.
We should probably go check.
They stared at Twilight, who remained frozen in place, eye twitching.
That would be a good idea,
Rarity said. They backed away slowly and headed for the Everfree, before another kind of fireworks were sure to go off. Author's note. So this was my entry to the minifig write-off All In. Here's the original if you'd like to see that version. I personally prefer that version, but you guys know how min words count go. I finally decided to make it long enough to post, so here you guys go. Special thanks to Masked Ferret for her input on the Fanfic revision. Onward and upward!
We here at Pony&Wolf Productions thank these amazing patrons of ours for their monthly support, without which all of this would not be possible. We sincerely appreciate it, and every dollar helps, is needed, and will be used to keep us going to produce audiobooks for your continued enjoyment. It is, now more than ever, important that you support your favorite creators if possible, due to YouTube changing in a way that is not very friendly to content creators. Especially small content creators, like us. In recent months, the names you see on screen have enabled Midnight and Visual Pony to keep going and only having to sell off part of their belongings to not end up on the street. As an incentive for everyone, Visual Pony has broken a vow and has promised to read and record Fallout Equestria, Murky number 7, should the monthly support reach $1,500. To be clear, this is the absolute minimum amount needed to keep the apartment and all bills paid without starving, while a production of this size is ongoing. The estimated time for this production would be 3 to 4 years, but people already said that Project Horizons was impossible to do, right? And now look who did it, so with Pony&Wolf, you know we can finish the job. For further information on how to support us, please have a look at the description of this video, as there are also other ways, like our merch store. Sincerely and forever yours, your Pony&Wolf team.